So let's go through this right off the bat. So you guys, who came up with this plan? Who? Because I've seen these a few times. There's Gov games down in the Middle East, and I've seen a few teams, and it is a bit wacky and a bit wild. So who come up with the idea for Team Montreal?
So I did. Ryan last year almost like put us in a team in another division, and that's really light up my desire to go out there and try the Gove game, now called Dubai game, for this edition. And when we went in Costa Rica, I was with Will out there. I speak a lot with Leon, and they are the champion team for the two last year with the Copenhagen Denmark team. And it was like, you really need to bring a team, come out there and just enjoy it. Because if they select you as a team, they pay you for the food and the hotel. So it's really like an Olympic kind of service around it, and you will really love it. So I'm like, okay, why not? It stay in that position. And at some point in December, I was like, it will be pretty cool to go there. So I write down to Leon, he gave me the contact, and I asked the contact what was the procedure. It was quite complicated because the answer was pretty slow on their end. They were like, if you bring a team with like valuable athletes, a good curriculum, I would say, and you need official letters from the mayor of your town and three minimum athletes in that city, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be like a real puzzle, but we can figure something out. So in the space of like 2, 3 days, I make some phone calls and I reach everyone, and clearly everyone answered positively. So I end up with a letter. I asked if it works. They said yes. So we went day by day, week by week with more validation, but we had only like real answer at the beginning of January, actually. So 6 weeks prior to the event. So really last minute stuff.
So I'm thinking in my head, and if I'm like an athlete like you, like Will or Ryan here, and Sam calls me and says, "Hey, you want to go do this cool thing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's cool." But Sam, I was not aware that you had contacts with the mayor of Montreal.
No, I don't. I actually don't. I reached them out with different emails on their Instagram, and I finally have like the Vis Sports and Loisir, they call it in French, um, that answer me. And he said, yes, I can make you a letter. And it passed. So it's not signed officially by the mayor of Montreal, but it works.
So you found out in January, then you started. Did you guys like do a lot of research ahead of time? Because so I've watched this in the past, and things can get a little bit wacky and a little bit weird, especially when it comes to like points systems and stuff like that. And I mean, I know Ryan, like you're a staunch competitor. You like things done properly. Was that a worry going over there that this would just go to like a complete clusterfuck and you'd have no idea what's going on?
A bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, first of all, like the quality of production with the Dubai games was kind of unlike anything that any of us had ever seen by a factor of 10.
By far.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, like it was insane. But then there's also all these kind of conspiracy theories floating around with different teams and the rules and the judges and this and that and the other. And so yeah, I mean, there's definitely like a bit of a yeah, we tried to research as much as we could,
Like
figure out about the
game
events.
show-esque kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. And you don't really know because, like, I mean, on the one hand, the judges, like, a big thing is you're only allowed to, like, step on certain things and touch certain colors, right? So when you're watching other teams, all the time they're, like, stepping on things that they aren't supposed to or touching things they aren't supposed to. And sometimes the judge says something to them and they just stop touching those things, or sometimes the judge sends them back, or sometimes they say nothing at all. And it's easy to, once you have the whole mind of the conspiracy theory, it's easy to like start attributing that to like certain teams or certain countries. It's like, well, this seems to be happening a lot less to this country or that country or things like that. So I don't know. We're still at the point where we just like don't know if it was a totally fair competition or if it wasn't. But I mean, yeah, we tried to learn as much as we could about the event, about the scoring, about the point systems, and I mean, my my kind of guiding light has always been just like do your best and like anything that's like unfair, anything that's seems unfair will eventually shake out like both ways, and
Mhm.
that is usually pretty good. But yeah, when you think the organization is potentially favoring some teams over others, then it becomes a little harder. But I mean, I don't know. I think it was a fairly fair competition in the end, and like the Montreal team brought it. We showed up, and I think we surprised a lot of people.
A lot.
Yeah. If I can add, like, I think there were like gray spaces too at some points that made us try to like go at the what is the line of like what we can do and what we cannot do.
Of
So
course.
I think even in our strategies at some points we were discussing some strategies that they didn't tell us that it's not allowed. So maybe we can try that. It can give us like a head on this thing, but it is a risk. So even for us, some gray zone made us like think of are we cheating or not? Are we going there this way or not? Or so even us, it was like a good like I don't know, a good way to think to go at the edge of like what is permitted and what it was not. So that was
Yeah,
nice.
because in Ninja Warrior competition, it's really a matter of if it's not clear, you can probably exploit it and see what happened next. But every time we went back to like the right decision, I would say we can say that afterwards because we choose like the right path and we still win. So that was pretty
Yeah,
cool. But it's
Yeah,
always like unexpected because with the obstacles and station like we had, so many things can go wrong or differently that you expected. Even if you're like the most powerful or hybrid athlete, it's a
yeah.
matter of so many little variabilities. So
And when you guys get over there, right, you see some of the other teams, the Denmark team's great. You know, the boys from Colorado are great. Are you eyeing up some of these other? Because I heard there was like a team from Korea comprised of the guys from the Physical 100,
yeah,
yeah,
like that. Do you look at them and you're like, do you think in your head sometimes these guys probably don't belong here, or wow, these guys look like a real threat?
Dave, it's funny you asked that because this exact thing has been happening to me my entire career.
Hmm.
Like I can't tell you how many events I've gone to where you
You're
get to
too
the start
fucking
line.
big to be a runner, buddy.
You get to the start line and everyone looks so fit and fast
uh-huh.
and like amazing and you're just like looking around, you're like shit, and then you win or whatever. And you're like, oh shit, like I didn't have to worry about anything. And it was like that totally. Like going to the event like a week before we left, I was like, I think we've got a really good chance. I think we can do really well. We've got a kick ass team. We're
yeah,
gonna kill it. And then I get there and I'm like, okay, okay, these are like, some of the best ninja athletes in the world. These are like some of the best blah 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 athletes in the world. These are like and teams that are like just made up of like all ringers. And I was like, okay, like I still believe in our team, but it's gonna be hard. And then same thing, we come out and like do super well. So
Yeah.
I don't know why I ever doubt us, but yeah,
yeah.
totally.
Same thing. I did like I think when I left like to the people around me, I told them like yeah there are 50 teams, but probably like at least 30 that are not competitive. Like it won't be like a threat. Uh, But then you get there and then you see all the teams and like pretty much like most of the team has at least one superstar or a couple of them. So you're like, oh shit. Okay, now they may be competitive and maybe a threat because it's a matter of points. So just like in the Burj Khalifa, like we lost our maybe first place because of something broke, but like going from first to sixth only cost us like half a point. So it really a matter of seconds and points. So everyone can be a threat. Like one thing goes wrong and you're out of the final. You can maybe even out of the top 10. So if anything goes wrong or something goes really good for a team, anyone can be a threat.
So you say there's something broke, and I know like obviously there was the incident in the finals, but what was there was another scenario when something broke for you guys where you say you could have went from like first to sixth. What happened there?
Uh, my so we had a vest. Each one of us has a 20 by 10k pound 10k vest on us to go up, and all the vests were we were tied up by a rope. So Ryan was first, I was second, then Austin, Jesse, and Sam. And at I don't know halfway, a little bit after halfway, we were on a pace of like 28 minutes, 29 minutes, maybe something like that. Because 80 floors, we were like 13 minutes and a half, something like that. And just after that, the rope, Ryan pulled me, and the rope just ripped off my vest, and it broke uh, like key part of the vest. So the straps that were holding my on my I don't
Like
know
around the chest?
yeah, the side of my chest just broke. So the vest was just like flapping like that. So I couldn't be pulled by Ryan anymore because it was just not holding. So I lost that advantage because Ryan was pulling me.
We lost the first horse, lose. So
Yeah. So and at one point, one shoulder just broke. So we had to stop, like really stop to try to figure it out and just repair it. And then we repaired it as we could, and then two floors after that, just everything broke apart. So I had two pieces to carry.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, we had to manage the way to carry the. So like we did almost have the race with a two-piece vest.
So, I mean, Sam, you talked about ninja competitions earlier, and I know when I frequented the ninja world, there's always a rule in place for equipment malfunction. And obviously, with what they guys like, so many elaborate setups and so much going on, did they have rules set in place for equipment malfunction, or is it just kind of it is what it is?
that way, yeah, it is what it is. We didn't know actually the specific rule about that, and still every stage are so different.
Yeah.
They cannot apply the same way. The fact that the vest broke in the middle of the stairs, we only had maybe technical support 10 or 20 floor higher. And what would happen if we wait there? Do they take this in consideration? Do we really stop and lose way more time that we already lost? So we just like pull our shit together and like just keep going after we realize we cannot fix it better than what we try for like 30 to 60 seconds. So that's why our calculation said we might have been able to pull down at least a minute faster than that. So that will bring us the first place. But the result of this didn't like got negative on us in the complete opposite way. Actually, it just bring like a good quality communication, and we just like, oh, we can do good. We know we finished sixth. We could have done better in terms of time. So let's get our stuff together and see what we can do like on the main event. And that was the thing really important about that team is that I knew, and I think everybody knew we had a good chance. We had a solid lineup of athletes, well balanced, really versatile, each of one of them. And together we can do something even better. But we never know until we get all together and try it out, see like the cohesion and the teamwork. And that was something almost like instant. We met and there was that connection already, and we like communicate together, and we bring like really good quality effort and teamwork. So that's why I think the key of success, because there was a lot of other super fit athletes, maybe some teams, if I don't know how you can measure that, but even a lineup of six maybe better overall athletes than all of us, but in some way maybe some ego, maybe other stuff got in the way, and that we outcome so well. So yeah, magic happened.
So you guys are before you even head over, obviously, I know that you got some notice ahead of time about the stair climb. So you knew the stair climb's in. That's kind of been a mainstay for them. You get to prepare for that. That's fairly straightforward to prepare for. I don't know if they told you about the weight vest or whatever, but again, this is something to prepare for. This is and right up your guys' alley all the time, right? With mountain climb straight up. This is, this is your jam.
Yep.
The other one's a little more complicated, a little more elaborate. How did you guys prepare for that? Especially like it's one thing to prepare for like ninja obstacles when you're solo on your own, but teamwork, ninja obstacles and stuff. And you guys, I mean, obviously you're not all next door neighbors. How do you guys get the shit together to teamwork on this stuff?
It was basically just being creative. We got together. I think I think I was only able to come to two or three of the sessions, but I
Yeah,
think we
agree.
all got together maybe four times, 4 or 5 times, and it was just like at ninja gyms, and one person would just say, "Hey, what about if we had to go across that wall, but you can only use these and you can only do that, and you have to use a rope, and then you have to do that." And then someone else would say, "Yeah, that's really cool." And then right after we have to do this, and the floor is lava, and you whatever. And so we would just come up with these kind of harebrained ideas on the spot, and then we would all just go through them together. And
We
that's kind of
watched we watched the last year event too, so we tried to like redo kind of these like stages, so we can prepare to just work together, communicate together. We even did not all the team, but a I lost the word.
Human ladder.
No. Like stick on the escape game.
Escape room.
Yeah, we
Oh,
did an
okay.
escape
I
room.
got you.
So just solving puzzle as a team, communicate, and being rushed by a time cap. Uh, yeah. So we just bring the weirdest like exercise we could as a team, and it was a good prep, I think.
I have to add like pure fun.
Yeah,
Every time that we got together, it was just like we're playing around, pushing ourselves a bit, but it was never like some crazy exhaustive training, not engine building. So we didn't went on like the cardio intensity side. We tried a couple of stairs together at some point, but it was more work maybe for Jesse. Who is more ninja. I never tried that much, so to give him a set of pace. But other than that, every time it was like fun stuff. We just enjoy it so much on the prep side, and it was the same on the whole week. We call it our summer training camp. So we went in Dubai for a training camp all together, and we had that mindset the whole way. So I think that's helped a lot because it reduced a lot of the stress. We weren't going there to defend the title like we're going to do next year, actually. So it was really different.
So you said some of the other teams, they get stuck in egos or whatever and this and that. And in my experience, when it comes down to anytime you got a team or anything like that, leadership, super important, define roles and everything like that.
Mhm.
And like no, like you guys are all fucking badasses, top to bottom, right? You're the top of the chart. How do you guys sort out how we're gonna make decisions, how we're gonna make calls on the fly, how this is gonna go? Like, so how did you sort out your leadership and your roles throughout the team?
We have not even discussed about that. I think it pretty lined up naturally. I got the role of captain because I was the one pulling the thing together, and
You
everybody
know
else
the mayor.
followed. I
yeah,
agree
you
on
know.
that, but we never vote on that. But I haven't took more decision than the other actually when we went out there. I think listening to everybody' opinions and working around that, taking time to listen to everybody. And I found like Ryan took another leadership role at some point because he got that experience. He's the one with more experience in competing in a high level. So, and everybody was listening. So I think that was an important factor.
Yeah, and like we're a good mix of like Ryan, Sam Austin, which are like they have a lot more experiences in big stage, big races, but we had like Jesse doing like ninja stuff a lot more than us. Beatrice a little bit too. Uh, yeah, everyone like we had three engineers. I'm a PE teacher. Everyone has like kind of background to come with plans, strategies, communication, and just leadership at some point. Every one of us, I think, had our bad and goods during the weeks, so we could support each other all the week. So everyone had their like part of responsibility in the team and in the winning too. So
All right. I'm gonna
yeah. I
go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead.
I think it was kind of like a speed democracy out there in real time. Like everyone was kind of listening to everybody, and then like uh, a really good idea would come up, and like the majority would kind of be like, "Yeah, that's the idea. Let's do it," and that would happen like pretty naturally and like really quickly, which is pretty cool to see.
So I'm going to ask you about two different things, two events. One involves you guys, one doesn't involve
Mhm.
you guys, and they both have to do with a bit of controversy. We'll start with the first one. It was my understanding there was some, and you might not know about it, so feel free not to comment about it or whatever. But it was my understanding that with the team from Denmark, there was some controversy with them. Do you want to kind of shed a light on what happened there?
So the thing was that they supposedly, because we don't have like the
Yeah.
final reason and stuff, but one of their bonus points or another station point, because you have to understand that every obstacle value 5 points, same as the bonus points. So, and at some point they missed out 5 points on their leaderboard that we all think comes from one of the bonus point where we have to throw a ball on a target.
Okay.
And didn't get applied at first, and they didn't call it out to the judge that in the 10 minutes time cap that they got because they thought they had it on point. And you have to know that doing 10 minutes of intensity after that, walking to the other zone, listening to the briefing, you got like a short 10 minutes to reassess who's doing what. It's enough, but it's short at the same time. So you don't have the time, or you don't take that much time to just check at the leaderboard and every pointing at. I haven't looked at all at the pointing during our 7 station because I didn't care, honestly. But this is what happened to Copenhagen, that what we understand, and everybody appeal to that. I write down to the race director to say, hey, what's going on? And it was like silent radio. We didn't get any news of that. So a lot of what Ryan's speaking a bit earlier about like conspiracy theory and stuff like that come around that too, that they didn't want them to win a third year. So they made some moves to reduce their chance. So if you don't make the final, it's pretty hard to win. And they would have end up in fourth position. So they would have made it to the final normally if they got that 5 points extra.
Yeah. Yeah. That's always tough when you got to deal with stuff like that and see, and that's,
Yes.
it's a shame. All right, and then your guys' little controversy. So you guys are in the final, and I mean, I'll just let you guys walk it out. Whoever wants to describe what happened or where you started, we're just take it from essentially we're on the water wall with the ball.
Okay, yeah. We're on the big wall, the big ball, and we're trying to get it up. And
Heavy ball.
Yeah,
so
heavy ball.
basically, yeah, you unlock your ball, you get the ball, and you have to bring it up the ramp. Once you get to the top, you're supposed to hand it to one of the rigging people. You go down, and in 15 seconds, they're supposed to clip the ball to a carabiner, and that's attached to a big long rope that comes all the way down. That's already at the bottom of the. There's a pulley at the top, and the end of the rope is at the bottom. They're supposed to clip it on. So the American team did this. They went up, they got their ball. They thought they had their ball clipped, and they started pulling. It pulls up. There's no ball attached, and so they had to kind of stand there, just kind of on their heels for I think 40 or 50 seconds while they rethreaded the carabiner down through these foam boards, clipped on the ball, to get the chance to pull it up. And our team had no idea any of this was going on, so we're just kind of racing. We had a huge lead on the Americans, and then they got the ball up the wall super quick, and all of a sudden it's kind of a race, and we're kind of pacing off of them because we're pretty gassed, but we know that you pull the rope and you have to break the foam boards. So we're kind of looking over at them, and we can see that we're ahead of them. We had no idea about the whole not clipping thing. So yeah, we're pacing off them. We're resting because we're ahead. We need to rest so that we have the energy to pull to break the foam boards. And so the idea was like rest as much as possible until, but while we're staying ahead of them.
You're managing gap.
Yeah, exactly. So we go up, we get the foam boards broken, and we all have, we have a little gap on the Americans the whole time. We go up, we ring the buzzer, we think we won. And then after the fact, we find out that they had this 40, 50 second bonus that the judges decided to give them from the time that they pulled it to, I guess, when they did pull it a second time. So then they come and they take us aside and say, well, actually, you didn't win. And so we were all super bummed about that. And then they decide that we would be co-champions and that they would award both teams first place. So it was a pretty diplomatic, I guess, ending to the controversy. Yeah, that's basically how it shook out. The Americans were really gracious about the whole thing. They were, after they announced that they had won and that we had lost, like their celebration was definitely very muted, and a bunch of them were saying like, this feels like a shallow victory, because I mean, no one really wants to win by technicality, I guess. So yeah, it was cool to see them approach it in that manner. But yeah, it was nice to share the podium with them.
So straight out, do you guys think this was the right? Because this is a tough one to do, right? As far as officials and the way they're running the event. Because I mean, straight out, they fucked up, right? And it's
Yeah.
you guys as athletes that pay the price. It's your competition that pays the price. Do you think they made the right call?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're missing some details. I'm not even sure yet if like the judge at the top of the wall said, go, you can pull, because we have to wait on the call of the judge. I haven't seen it on the live, but it's hard to say. And so if the American, their ball took a bit longer to attach, like they said, I think numbers, it's supposed to be 15 seconds, the time gap, and their ball took like 23 seconds to put on, so it was longer, but we're talking about 8 seconds here. But I think they pulled before it was officially attached. So whatever, is their fault or whatever? We're not here to debate about that. The thing was that they win 57 seconds because of that like penalty stuff, and we had only 18 seconds difference with them at the end. So I went out there and explained the situation on our end and how I see this in the competition, how we should notice the fact that we were leading the whole way before the incident. We were leading and we paced ourselves according to that, and until the end we did that. So but the vote was clear. It was 3% for Colorado, 2 for Montreal. So it really told us we will be second, and that was a real bummer at that point, but this is their rules and I understand that. So I wasn't agreeing with it, but I will go with it because it's their choice. But in the end, it was really like a show that they put on when they call us at the front. We didn't know that we're gonna be both first team. We thought
they wanted our reaction, like live reaction. So
they had it. They got it.
I think it's fair, but like Sam said, like he had to argue a lot on some details. Like example, the fact that they, if you check like the ladies from the government category, I think they didn't even do half of the obstacles in the final. So how they decide who's first, it's who comes first at the last obstacles that everyone did. So that's the point Sam told them too. Which teams came first at the top of the wall with the ball? It's us. So after that, we cannot really know who would have won because it's a matter of seconds, maybe if. So normally their rules was that. So that was a good point for Sam when he was arguing. Your rule is that you should check the last obstacle before it broke, and they told us no, it's not like that in the final, whatever. So at the end, I think it's the good decision to make us like co-champion, and yeah,
everybody was so happy about that, and we will never know if that was the already decision before we had to argue the two captains together. But and by the way, Jack Bauer didn't say a thing during like all the arguments because he was a captain from Colorado. He was just letting me go. And he saw that I got a lot of stuff to say. But we will never know if what I said will make a difference, in the decision. But in the end, we are really happy about like the outcome of it. We're really happy that we both win and that we share that, because the technical issue is not our fault, and it's not the fault of Colorado either. So
So it's not terribly surprising to see an organization do this and we'll make like co-champions. But what is the shock is that they can make a phone call and come up with another set of first prize prize money.
Yeah,
No problem. They
they,
just okay, let's sign the check. That's the feeling we got because
Yeah.
yeah.
at
Not
the end
even
of
the
it,
phone call. I think the guy was just there, and
right there.
they
Just
went
pulled it out
to
of
call.
pocket and said, "Here you go."
Yeah,
We
chat
shake
with
his
the guy,
head
and
actually at
that's
the
it.
end.
Yeah, he just whipped out his wallet and started just, just going through.
Yeah,
All right, no problem. No, but honestly, like the the amount that it costs them to put on this
It's
event,
crazy.
um, in relation to the amount that they pay out for the prize money is like the prize money's quite a small
Big.
part of the overall
Yeah.
cost. So I don't think it's that consequential for them.
It, it does raise the question of exactly why they do this event. Like they do a lot of events like this, but I mean, I check out the YouTube, and it's not like we're bringing in 6 million viewers or anything on this thing. It's a different thing. So it just becomes like, why do they tell you guys, or why do you think they even hold an event like this and throw out the money that they do? Like, oh, it's a huge undertaking with the setups.
Yeah.
To
It's a
build that
big
kind of crap is not cheap.
no. Oh no, it's not cheap. The whole setup was like all quality, like Ryan said earlier, like 10 times what we already
Mhm.
saw somewhere else. And it's pretty niche. So it's not like a big like crowd will watch this, as you said. So I do believe they
Is
got fun doing it, having their team, and I don't
the
know.
ra- the race director. We talked a little bit with the race director, and he told us that he really think OCR should have like a
It should.
bigger stage, like being viewed on a bigger stage and everything. So I think they try to do that for OCR, maybe a lot for them too, because like you said, it's not like they have like 6 million views on their YouTube channel. So I think they want to create a bigger stage for us, bigger channel for OCR to get known and be on the big stage like other sports. That's what the race director told us. But I think they do have fun, and they want like superstars to come to Dubai and enjoy the life there, and big events like that. So yeah,
So you guys, I mean, you guys are all big names in OCR, big stuff like that. Is the future of OCR? Because I mean, obviously, in North America, we're barely treading water. We're floundering. Overseas, I've not been there myself. Seems much different. Is the future, and is it able to carry it over there and grow from overseas?
I don't know, to be honest.
Nope.
It seems like every year.
Sam knows. Nope.
I mean, I don't think the future of OCR is Dubai Games. It's an amazing event. It happens once a year though, and I hope it keeps happening. And I would like to do it again. Is the future of OCR in the Middle East? Maybe. It seems like every year there's one or two or three big events that get put on that have a bunch of prize money that gets everyone out of the woodwork and excited to compete. So I don't know if that's a trend that's either sustainable or conducive to growing the sport in a meaningful way. But it seems to be happening on a somewhat regular basis. So yeah, I guess just ride that wave and see how
Yeah.
long it lasts.
I see like in the last couple of years, they bringing a lot of attention from the OCR community out there with the Spartan World, with the obstacle they got in December too this year, the World Obstacle, like the FISO,
Yeah,
and Dubai Game. I think they will have like a poll out there for that, but I really don't think I was not in my head no when you asked Dave because I'm pretty sure this cannot be export to other countries before because we don't have the same amount of revenue. Just having a team going from Canada, we had difficulty to gather like money to pay for some jersey and shirts. So it's like really a big gap. But I do believe it's there to stay in some way. Maybe, and I would love to have that kind of vision that this is the Olympic level of our sports or really a go-to place to reach out when you get a good name in that sport and you want to go out there. I found it nice. I hope it's keep going.
Yeah, and I mean, Will, you took part down in Costa Rica and stuff like that, did you not?
yeah,
Thinking, yeah. And I know I'm pretty sure Ryan, I got a solid feeling on your views on kind of the FISO thing, and that's cool, and then that's great. Having been involved in it, like, and we'll start with Will. Do you think that there's a path forward from what they're trying to do, or is this just another kind of dead end where we're going to run dry?
I don't know. Like I really hope it's gonna like there's a path, and because like I'm the young guy of the team with Jesse, and like I grew up in that sport looking to like Ryan and these guys. So I was like, yeah, I hope I could do that. And since the pandemic, I really saw the sport like going down. So I'm kind of worried about a little bit about that. Very nice with the Fizo. I hope with the Fizo it's gonna go like it's gonna get better and better, and will be like more known and more seen on the big like international level. I think right now they're too concentrated on like going to the Olympic with the pentathlon and everything. I don't think it's helping us, to be honest, because just after Costa Rica, we did like pretty good performances. The guy from pentathlon write to us. He was really like interested in us, and then after that, no news at all. I think they want to know about our sport for their pentathlons athletes, so they can like train them in our sport. But to come to take us and maybe train for pentathlon, I don't think it's what they want. So yeah, I hope like Fizo is gonna like go forward and just continue to have like big stages. Maybe in Sweden it's gonna be even better organization than Costa Rica. I hope so, because they had issues in Costa Rica a little bit. But I heard in Sweden it's gonna be like a level up. So maybe if these kind of events have great weekends, great like athletes comes in and they don't have big issues in their organization, it might help to us to find a path. But I think, like Sam say, it's there to stay to improve. I don't know. I hope so for myself because I think I have another 10 years to give, but I hope so. But I think it's gonna stay like that. Maybe not improve a lot.
Well, let's be honest, Costa Rica was a confusing choice to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not very much a hotbed of OCR, and then you talk about some place where, if you're trying to get anything built, it's not really the area that I would jump to.
Pura vida.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
it
Yeah.
was exactly like that. Like, yeah,
But
Just chill out, guys. Chill out.
Sweden's a different scenario though. I mean, fingers crossed, whether you like FISO or not, or whatever you think, just for the athletes, fingers crossed, you're going to get something better out of there.
We're gonna go out there to see what it's gonna look like. So
yeah, and I think like from one year to another, like all the federations are gonna be like, I wish better at that too, because like if I check like the Canadian like obstacle sport Canada, like nothing was paid for us because they didn't have the funding and everything. So it's only the second year we have Fizzo. So I think this is gonna be better. Like this is going every federation are going to be like they are going to improve in funding and organizing like group practice, group travel and everything, and like to be like the events there, the quality time there. I think all the federation are working on that, so that might improve. But for that, you still need funding, and that's the biggest issue for pretty much all federation to have funding to just bring their athletes there. So yeah, we'll see in the next years. Hope so, but
So, and Ryan, I'll ask this to you because this is an event that I know has been close to your heart and is something that you've been part of for a long time. We know that North American OCR is right now, it's in the shitter right now. Could a solid event like OCRWC coming back to the East Coast in 2026, could something like that revitalize it? Is that something that would even get like your juices going? Would you go back if it's not saying Stratton, but in a more accessible place than Mammoth, California? Is that something that you think you could get back on?
Yeah,
Or do
totally.
you think the community could get back on even?
I think so. I think that, I mean, OCRWC still has a good name and a good reputation within the sport, I believe. But I guess the question is, has Spartan done irreparable damage to the community or not? Like, is the hatred and the disappointment and the things that Spartan has consistently done um, to the community, is that going to overshadow the good experiences that people have had in OCRWC? That, to me, that's the question. If someone said OCRWC, it's happening on the East Coast and it's going to be, the way it used to be and this and that, like, and there was feeder events for it that were less politically charged and less influenced by outside factors. Because I mean, just holding one event to me is not a solution, because doing one thing once a year is cool, but it's kind of like it doesn't have that momentum. It doesn't have that build. It doesn't have the training that lasts for the whole year behind it. So, yeah, I mean, I'm ever the optimist, so I say bring it. But I guess we'll see.
What about you, Sam?
I share pretty much that thinking. I left a bit the OCR world um, globally in the last year and a half, not because of IROX, but because of all the little bad step and bad decision that Spartan made, mainly Spartan, and I don't accuse like everyone in Spartan, but some big decision have been made along the way that divide. And the problematic with having one big brand holding everybody other under him, that's a big problematic. We always saw that in every sphere of our worlds. So the diversity and the difference of choices helps a lot, something to grow and to challenge everyone on their end. So having a monopole, I don't know how you say that in English, but
Monopoly.
yeah.
Monopoly.
So it's never good. So we saw that a lot in the last couple of years. We saw it coming from Spartan. They gave themselves maybe the title of savior, who's taking care of every brands and stuff. But in the end, that's not really positive going in the outcome of it. So I'm always optimistic as Ryan. I would love to see this evolve. I don't think Dubai game is like the exit for this. We need to have more ramification and more layers of different races around the globe, like Spartan have as a strength in different countries, but diversifying it a bit more. I'm staying open-minded. I hope so. But for the moment, I don't put my eggs all in the same basket like I did the last 10 years with OCR. So.
All right. So, Ryan, you went to WTM this year.
Yeah.
And my understanding, I haven't been at WTM, I haven't been at a Tough Mudder event in quite some time. But from my understanding, Spartan has kind of left them alone to be WTM. I can't speak for that myself. That's what I said. So I'm going to ask you, do you think that that's the case? Or do you think the influence of Spartan has changed it and maybe, in your mind at least, kind of taken away some of the beauty that WTM was? Like, to me, WTM peaked in 2017. That's when I've said it millions of times. That's when I was there. You had a great event there. It was supposed to be you and John head to head. John got sick that time, but then Rhea had an awesome event. The penalties were monstrous and dangerous. The obstacles were great. Do you think Spartan has changed that, or do you think that's just been the evolution of the race itself? Kind of what was your take on the whole WTM thing from there?
I'd say, like, it's funny. I'm almost like tearing up a little bit just hearing you talk about it. I'd say that, like,
Dude, it was a great race. I was there, man. It was awesome.
I'd say like 75% of the magic was still there in Florida this year. I mean, it's so cliche, but like the community is just awesome and everyone's like so excited to be there, and it kind of um yeah, it's like transcendental. Like, I don't know, it's hard to explain to someone, but the numbers were down, but I think that's just reflective of the sport. I don't think that's reflective of WTM, and I didn't you know, I don't think anyone really felt Spartan's pull at that event. I don't think I did. They did a good job putting it on. It wasn't as crazy as it's been in the past years. It wasn't as big. It wasn't as extreme, but it was still awesome. And I think that it could be the same, and it's happening in the UK. next year. So I think it could be the same there too. And there could even be like a revitalization, having it overseas, I think.
So my tie-in question to both of those is, since they left WTM alone, is it possible that they will do the same for CRWC?
I think it's
And
less
I'm
likely.
looking for hope, man. I'm looking for hope. I'm
Yeah,
digging.
yeah, yeah. We
Yeah.
see that. We hear that.
It's possible, but I think it's less likely because I think that Spartan sees WTM. Like WTM is so, I don't know, it's so out there and it's so different from everything they put on all the time that they're kind of like, well, we better not mess with that because who even knows? But with OCRWC, they're like, well, we put on 15-kilometer-ish events all the time. It's just another. And I mean, from people who went to OCRWC last year,
I went.
I heard it had like
It's already it has already
a lot of
changed.
Spartan obstacles.
Yeah.
It just kind of felt more like a Spartan event.
Yeah, I went to Mammoth and it felt more like a like we I could have felt the change in between like I did
The ownership.
2017, 2019 the NORAM, and then 2021 I think 2022 in Vermont. And since that I can say it already changed. Like we can
But
see like walls,
yeah,
like 2 or 3 walls in the 3K,
yeah.
a bunch of big like a bunch of obstacles at the end, like a gauntlet of obstacles at the end. It's it was, you could see it was part in a little bit this year already. So
To me, it makes sense because, uh, like they put on these events all the time, and OCRWC has always been kind of, cherry picking obstacles from different organizations. But Spartan's not going to do that. So what are they left with? Just using their own obstacles and like using whatever's lying around. Whereas with WTM, there's already tough butter obstacles. They're out there. They're on cargo. They're on semi trucks. They're floating around the country. So it's almost easier for them to maintain the WTM TM ship in that lane, but like steer the OCRWC towards the Spartan lane. And I mean, I think at this point, Spartan is just doing whatever is easiest and whatever requires the least amount of energy and money and time and effort, and that's what you get.
The easiest, the lowest amount of money to generate the maximum amount of money. So low on R&D and just like doing what's been working, but not evolving. So
fast food mentality.
Yeah. So let me play one bit of devil's advocate here. OCRWC decides to go to Mammoth, right?
Mhm.
When we're in the northeastern region, and like Ryan said, you're pulling from obstacles from different companies. You're getting from Savage, you're getting from Black Swamp, you're getting from Indian Mud Run. All these other companies used to come with obstacles and stuff. They go into Mammoth, OCRWC goes to Mammoth. Where are they pooling obstacles from? And if Spartan didn't bring their obstacles, what obstacles would they have?
Well, exactly.
So that's what I'm saying. So if, and I mean, I'm kind of doing a little bit of apology for Spartan there is, if they didn't come in and bring in their obstacles, right, and just Spartan just said, no, we're not involved, what obstacles does OCRWC have to bring out to Mammoth? Because they don't
Well,
have that local infrastructure to bring obstacles from other places in.
they would
I'm just
they would
I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They would literally have to take a bunch of Spartan obstacles because why not? Like a wall is a
Yeah.
wall, a monkey bar is a monkey bar. Like who cares? And then they would have to go out and come up with more obstacles, whether it's from
Oh,
ninja
settle down.
gyms, whether it's building them, whether it's whatever. And yeah, no, I agree with you what you're saying, and I think we're agreeing with you too because um, yeah, it would be really hard for them uh, to come up with unique and meaningful obstacles in that context. And like Sam said, it's funny because Spartan used to be all about doing hard things, but as a company, they don't want to do anything hard. So that they're not gonna go out to a ninja gym and rent an obstacle for a weekend and have someone come out and build it to the tune of $5,000 just to have another unique obstacle when they could just put a twister up.
Sandbag carry.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
So
But one thing that Ryan come up with about when he was answering the question about Tough Mudder was the community.
Yeah.
And I think this is the little spark that we still have, and this is why we are all like optimistic and trying to find where we can gather together again, because this is no matter like the quality of the event, if it's gather enough people, we always feel that vibe and get that flame. And this is what we got in Dubai game, having like 51, 52 teams from around the world who all connects together, no matter which color or your flag or your skin or whatever, what language you speak. We all find a way to connect together through that passion. And it's a little, we are weird creatures, the one of obstacle sports. And we really felt that out there. So this is why we still craving for more and wants it to keep going.
Totally.
Mm.
I really believe that if you want to kickstart OCR again, you take OCR WC and you put it in one of two places. You either put it in Quebec because you still have a very vibrant OCR community in Quebec. It's like I've said it for years in Canada. Like, and Ryan, you've been very much living near where I am. The OCR community here is nothing compared to Quebec. And I'm talking not just the people. The people are great, but the fact of events. There's so many more events and so many more options over in Quebec. Quebec, and then like that Midwest of the states, Ohio, and those
Yeah.
areas there, they still have mom and pop races and different events. Yeah, I think you need to hit one of those two spots and have a really big home run because I don't see it kickstarting any other way back here. And is there anywhere that you guys would think would be a good spot? I mean, hell, go back to Blue. Blue 2016, 2017 was just magical.
Yeah.
I agree.
Where would you put it? Where would you do with it?
I like the idea to put it in Quebec, but
Short
Yeah,
drive.
no, I
Yeah.
agree with you, Dave. Yeah. Midwest, Quebec. I mean, Northeast, New Jersey kind of area.
Yeah.
Could be cool.
All right.
But yeah.
So I won't keep you guys any longer. What is next on the table for all of you? So Will, what's next for you?
prepping for my OCR season, so I'm probably doing the Spartan Canadian Championship, and then preparing for Sweden because I think it's gonna be my A race. And in between that, I had a little bit of the influence of my coach to do a little bit of IROX. So I'm doing my first next competition is gonna be IROX, either half IROX in Quebec or full IROX. I'm doing full IROX in New York in team in double, but I'm concentrating in OCR, so Spartan and Fizzle in Sweden.
What about you, Sam?
Right now I'm 10 days out from Houston, IROX. So going out there to get one of the golden ticket to qualify as a team double pro man to go for Chicago Elite 15. So that's a goal. And working on some sponsors to found sponsors for this amazing team for 2026 because we're going back, but we're not. I really hope we don't have to pay for flight tickets as the winning team, as the Montreal representing winners, and the only Canadian team who showed up. We want to bring more team next year, even if it's more competition. I want to have that Canadian community and vibe spread more out there in the Middle East. So yeah, but for my personal calendar, Houston, after that, IROX Miami to try to qualify myself for Chicago. And after that, a bunch of IROX that I organized, so the half series and stuff like this. So my summer is pretty much IROX with a glimpse of OCR to go to Sweden for FISO with Will and other members. And yeah, that's pretty much it so far.
Yeah, we gotta have a chat about the Half Rock series. We're
Yeah, for sure.
a lot of people into that. And Ryan, what's up with you, man? What are we doing?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
Just playing with the kids?
Yeah, I'll do some ice climbing, probably some ski racing, maybe some ultra marathons, obstacle racing. We'll see. Yeah, maybe I'll come to FISO. I don't know. Maybe I'll go to Morzine. That'd be cool.
In June.
Maybe I'll do another High Rocks. That could be good. If I could learn to throw some balls against the wall, it may go okay. But yeah, I don't know. Oh man, I just love training so much. I just, and, you know, you just have to love the training and then figure out what you're fit for and find a race to make it fit. I guess that's where I'm at. So we'll see.
That's awesome, guys. Well, congratulations on the big win. Thank you
Thanks.
so much for coming to hang out. A lot of people were very excited. Um, and it's good that at least, we didn't quite get that second win over the States like the hockey, but it was close enough. We know who really won. It's fine. Jack, suck it. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's all good. But thank
Thanks
you
for
guys so
having
much.
us, Dave.
Really
Yeah, thanks for
appreciate it. And
having us.
we'll talk to y'all very soon. Good luck
For
out
sure.
there.
Take care.
Later.
Thanks. Take care.